And give yourself a taste of the ultimate high. Drink it all away, ain't whiskey and wine. Try to believe that the blood will be spilled. Fuck them anyway, they wanna be killed. Down to the people of where we have been. Excuses from its now.
Whoa, what's up? It's episode 39 of the Rock Savages podcast today. As usual, we are brought to you by rocksavagepod.com. That's our homepage. You guys can go there, download all of our episodes for free. You can subscribe to our RSS feed if you want. And you can read our vinyl blog and all that nonsense. So, you can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at the handle Rock Savage Pod. And if you guys want to support the podcast, you can scroll to the bottom of rocksavagepod.com. There you will see an Amazon banner. And if you guys are doing any Amazon shopping, click that banner and do your shopping through our portal. What that does is gives us a little kickback for anything you guys buy. It costs you guys nothing additional, and just gives us a little pocket change. Helps us get down the road to get to these interviews that we have been doing. Sometimes we've got to go out on the road and find these folks and talk to them. We will be doing that soon with some national artists. It's all on the books, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, but soon enough. So if you guys want to do your Amazon shopping through our portal, feel free. It would really help us out. If not, that's cool too. You can help us out for free by going to iTunes, search the Rock Savages podcast, and give us a rating and review. Helps us get higher up on the iTunes charts and helps get this podcast some more exposure. So any help your way would be awesome. Now, before we get started, I just got to let you guys a couple dates, well, several dates. I'm playing in August. I'm actually filling in with Redwater Tragedy. 3 shows in August. August 3rd at the Empire Concert Club in Akron. We are doing August 4th, the next night, in West Salem. Check the Redwater Tragedy page for the venues and times. Another Redwater show, August 26th at the Whiskey Warehouse. And that would be in Ohio. So check all that out on their social media sites and get out to one of those shows. It should be a good time. Our only Burn Blue Sky date solidly booked so far this is a big one. This is a good show. Killer show, actually. A legendary show. This will be August 31st at the Outpost Concert Club. Burn Blue Sky will be with I Hate God, the mighty I Hate God. Co-headlining this show is the legendary Cro-Mags. And we are pumped to be alongside our local band Brothers in Fistula and Goose to support this show. So tickets are available right now at ticketfly.com. So go to Ticketfly and buy your I Hate God tickets for Kent, Ohio on Thursday, August 31st. Man, it should be a kick-ass show. We are super pumped. And now that that's all done, today's episode is Jeff Fahl. He's coming back to the podcast, finally. He's a hard guy to nail down sometimes, and he's in my band, so that goes to show you how hard he is to capture this guy and get him on the mic. But me and Jeff sit down and we get some updates on his 3 bands. Foul Spirits, they're coming out with a new one. Hate Theory, also coming out with a new record, and he's in my band Burn Blue Sky, and we are currently working on new material, so we kind of talk about all of that stuff and a lot more, as you will hear right now. Episode 39 of the Rock Savages podcast. Here we go.
now you know.
Fucking, I got stung by a fucking wasp, motherfucker.
Sweet.
Why do those fuckers even exist? Dude, I was mowing the lawn. I feel this little thing on my fucking leg, and then
What do wasps do? Do they move pollen around and shit?
They probably
or do. They just sting people and kill other insects? I'm sure they exist on some level to kill other insects, ecological balance and whatnot.
Well, I mean, what the fuck are they killing? They're not killing mosquitoes, and if that is their job, they're doing a poor job because there's tons of them. Yeah.
Don't wasps kill spiders? Maybe wasps are just bad all around.
Yeah, we need fucking spiders.
Maybe wasps are like devil.
They're the cunts
insects.
of the world. They're the cunts of the insect world. That's what I'm
They're
saying.
satanic insects.
Shit fucking hurt. That's all I know. You son of a bitch. I got him though. Smashed his fucking head. That's how you deal with a fucking wasp. You know? Fuck it.
Usually, especially after they sting you.
Yeah, you squash like grape. That's how you deal with fucking cunty wasps.
I haven't been stung by a wasp in years.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to think
remember
of
when the last time that happened was. I got stung by a yellow jacket like summer before last, cleaning up some brush and shit at my house, but that was the first time I'd been stung in quite some time.
Still the same fucking thing. I'm equating yellow jackets and wasps.
I dumped gasoline down their hole.
Set it on fire.
I should have lit it. I didn't, though. I figured dumping gasoline down there was probably enough.
Yeah, but then they crawl out a couple hours later like, bitch! And then they're super jackets.
Oh, I did it at night. They were all sleeping. I got them while they were sleeping. It was a
Cunts.
perfect terrorist attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I do that shit.
Chemical fucking warfare. Fucking cunts. God. Oh well. I don't remember last time I was bit by a fucking wasp. Except the
Stung.
They bite, man.
That happens with the other end.
Oh yeah, you're right. They got swords on their butts. This is a metal conversation. Just listening to that new Blood Clot record. It's pretty fucking cool. I'm not usually big on hardcore, but man, that shit it's fun to listen to.
It does sound really cool, what I've heard of it so far.
Can't go
Very
wrong.
cool. Looking forward to the show.
Can't go
Looking
wrong.
forward to being impressed further.
Yes.
I mean, guys are all veterans. It should be very impressive. They should have their shit together.
Sounds
And like
they
I
do.
said, looking super forward to Negative Approach.
Yeah, you're into that hardcore shit a little bit. You
I'm
you
not
dabble.
like super hardcore guy, and the stuff that's, called hardcore that I've been into the most, like Integrity mostly, I don't really consider that like, if you go back and listen to like Minor Threat, which is probably my favorite, well, it's definitely my favorite of the original like American hardcore bands.
Yeah.
The stuff that's called hardcore nowadays, a lot of the time, is really more metallic. It's like metallic hardcore, and some of it's not really hardcore at all. I think hardcore's become like a fashion thing, and I don't even understand the fashion thing a lot of the times. The basketball jerseys and the hats with the brims turned up and all that, and the kung fu dancing, I'm not sure what hardcore is really, so I wouldn't say I'm big into hardcore, but I do love Minor Threat
Did
and
Hatebreed do that?
Integrity, who call themselves hardcore.
Hatebreed did that to fucking hardcore, didn't they? It was their fault. The fashion and shit. They kind of do that a little bit, don't they?
Well, I guess, I don't know. Like I said, I've never really paid much attention to the origins of that fashion or any other for that matter. I still pretty much dress the exact same way that I was dressing when I went to high school.
Yeah, me too.
And the entire time that I've been playing music, and no matter what has been fashionable, I've never really been one that's had the time or the concern with following like fashion trends.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous to me. I've kind of stuck with what's comfortable and what I feel makes me look good.
Some fashion is just stupid. The skinny jeans, I don't like skinny jeans. I might be the only guy. Yeah, you don't. But so me and you probably are the only guys who don't like skinny jeans these days, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say we're the only.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I definitely don't get that. It just makes your lower half look really small.
Yeah.
Makes you look out of proportion.
And if you're already skinny, you're just going for a skinnier look than you already are. I would look ridiculous in that shit.
Or it displays that you have no, what's the word I'm looking for? No lower center of gravity. You're a pushover with your skinny legs.
I can tell I'm getting a little older because I think comedians and shit are starting to make fun of people who wear cargo pants. I'm like, or cargo shorts rather. which we all wear that shit all summer long. I'm like, I'm fucking fine with it.
Which is totally bizarre to me. You would think in the age of, I got to have my fucking device because it's got my entire life on it.
Yeah.
You would think cargo shorts would be the thing.
I don't care.
You got the pocket for your fucking device.
I hope it goes out of style. I mean, shorts are getting shorter now, and I'm not wearing that short shit.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not,
I'm
not doing it. Fuck you guys and your fucking
I mean,
short
to
shorts,
each
man.
their own, but the shorts thing, I've just I don't like walking around with my knees hanging out, half my legs hanging out.
Yeah.
It's cool, and chicks do that. That's awesome. The
Yeah,
more
that's
leg,
fun.
the better. Even show a little bit of the ass cheek there at the top. But you have no desire to see, like, a lot of a dude's leg.
No.
You know, or to show off my legs. They're
No.
hairy and pale.
Yeah.
You know,
And
no
it's
matter how much I work them out, I would never want to show them off.
And it's getting popular again for guys. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that
you
dude I
make fun of me
saw,
all you want.
I saw some
Not doing it.
crazy shit like a couple months back.
Yes.
These ladies I work with were showing me the romp him. Is that what it's called? And it's like remember when Kane used to wear onesies?
Yeah.
And we joked, we had a good laugh about, imagine if adults
I'll look it up.
imagine if adults wore like onesies like this, and we thought that was hilarious.
Romp in?
Romp him. Romp him. Yes.
Two
and it's
words or
a
one?
one
Oh, no,
piece.
there it is.
One piece for dudes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a onesie.
It sure
for
is.
dudes.
And they're not cheap either. $119.
It blows my fucking mind. Like,
Yeah, dude, right there.
I think this is the gender-free society that's happening here.
Not in my world. I revolve around basic biological science, so I mean, people can do whatever they want. It doesn't bother me at all. But I mean,
I gotta say, I haven't ever seen a dude wearing one of those.
not yet.
So that might be like a made-up,
We're-
agit prop kind of thing.
We're in flyover country. Oh, dude, there's leather ones. Of course there is.
Yes.
Zip tight
Studs.
fit. Yeah, this one's only $23. The leather one is. Man, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, and all I thought of, like I said, was when we had a good fucking laugh about what if adults wore like onesies. And there it is.
Here it is.
There it is.
Okay, I'm cool with that. You can wear your onesie, and you know what? Not gonna make fun of you. Don't make fun of my cargo shorts, and we're cool. Wear whatever the fuck you want.
The cargo shorts thing, that blows my mind. How you would make fun of that?
Yeah, it's starting
It
to
seems
creep
so
into.
simple and awesome.
It's starting to creep into mainstream culture.
It's
like,
good
why?
that I don't pay attention, really.
Yeah,
like
well-
90% of the time. I only know what people, point out to me most of the time, and most of that I forget about as quickly as I discovered it.
I don't ponder it too much, but when I hear it, I'm like, what?
I got no time for it.
I guess that's what everybody's gone
patience.
through. I guess that's what everybody's gone through. The older they get, their fashion trends change, and it goes out of style a little bit. I'm with you, though. I've never really been into the whole style thing. I've been into my style. I like what I like, and I wear what I wear. If it goes out of style, probably still going to wear it eventually, or all the time. I just know what I like, and I know what I don't like.
Yeah, and
I
as
don't
far
care if
as
it's in.
making fun of somebody's style, I just, we kind of bagged on skinny jeans here, but I mean, that was just being on the subject. But I would, it's never something that occurs to me to be like, look at this fucking guy. What is going on here?
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen
really,
to
I'm
your
a
friend.
to each his own kind of individual, and I would never think that my opinion is holds any more value to anybody besides me.
Right. Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, nor should it, really. At the end of the day, it's like,
Well, I mean, it's the old classic adage about opinions.
Yeah.
Nothing's truer.
Right. It is true. That is true. But, fuck it. I'm wearing my cargo shorts. Maybe we should do an album cover with cargo shorts on, all of us. Even Chris Williams. I know he doesn't like cargo shorts. It's all good. Come on, Chris. Wear them. Yep. I've been a bad podcaster. We're supposed to release these fucking things the cardinal rule is at least one a week, but
P still doing them with you?
Yeah. He just, he's a family man.
Right.
So I'm just getting
Right.
anybody who wants to jump on in. Got to do what you got to do sometimes,
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you got a hold of me. I was literally laying on my couch. I've been texting for like the last 2 hours with Wally about Foul Spirits, upcoming stuff.
How's that coming along? I'm confused about it.
Oh, we're very excited. Lots of irons in the fire. Things are closing in, finally coming to fruition. I know when we talked about it back in like last November, I was like, Foul Spirits, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But actually, it's kind of gotten back on track. Ironically, our bass player Gabe is moving. First half of August, he's moving to Wyoming. He's going to be a professor at the University of Wyoming.
Oh, nice.
So fucking good for him. He just finished up his doctorate. So, he's successful where he wants to be. But
good
and
dude.
the plan is we'll still continue to work with him as far as the mixing of our records. It's kind of part of our sound at this point. And
good.
But I mean the A Job, a House, a Family record is should be ready by Blackout Cookout, which is September 16th.
Now you guys
this
were
year.
recording. This is what confused me. I saw the album cover online, but then I saw pictures of Wally in the studio tracking drums. Are they?
That's
still
because we tracked drums for A Job, a House, a Family, the one that's about to be finished up completely and should be out by Blackout Cookout. We tracked those back last January, and for some fucking reason, probably no small part of the whole problem was Gabe being busy with his doctorate and whatnot. Because he handles all the recording and it's all free, so you can't really fucking complain about any of it, and he's passionate about what he does. It always comes out sounding good. But those were tracked in January of 16, and it took like a year. Here it is a year and a half later, and we're just now finishing up that record. So as we were finishing that one up, we have an EP already ready to go, so we just tracked drums for that at the beginning of this month.
Jesus.
So hopefully beginning of next year, we'll be busting that out. But we've also got
That's a good schedule. I'm jealous.
We got Split with a band called Brutaler from North Dakota. That's we're closing in on getting done. Probably be done by this fall. And we got some other things we're doing, but it's gonna be nice, dude. We haven't played. By the time we played Blackout Cookout, it will have been over 5 months since we played, which is essentially a long time for us.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
it'll be cool to have some stuff. We've gone like most of the last 5 years without giving a shit or having anything. So we've kind of changed philosophy.
Good.
And we're looking toward that. But I've been texting a lot of the day with Wally about that. We're excited about stuff. Got David Wilson working on a video for us, an animated video, which should be pretty fucking cool.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Dave Wilson's the shit.
Yeah.
We pump that guy as much as possible. He does all the Burn Blue Sky work and artwork and Foul Spirits.
Dude, we got a lot of good people helping us with the stuff we're getting done right now. Aside David Wilson, dude. Not the least of which. But we got a lot of other friends that have been helping us out with some stuff too. So
yeah, both
it's really
bands,
cool.
Burn Blue Sky and Foul Spirits. I mean, I feel pretty lucky to have so many talented people around us to fucking help us make it even better. Outside of the music realm and the
well, yes,
artistic
it's
side.
It's still the
music.
people from that scene that was so great when you went out to shows at one time. There's still a lot of talent still hanging around and doing things, even though the live scene has changed so dramatically.
Absolutely. It has. That's just a sign of the times. I kind of went on a rant on Facebook through my page and the podcast page. There was an article about how rock and roll is kind of, it's the least popular it's ever been. Fucking couldn't disagree more. It's just not in the mainstream. Who fucking cares? I don't even want it in the mainstream anymore. I like it where it is. It'd be great if a band that we love, whoever, we'll say fucking Down or Rival Sons or who the fuck ever, was filling stadiums. That's never been the reality. This is where rock and roll, I think, belongs, in the smaller venues, not famous.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Long day? Good for you. You earned it.
Me too. That was my lady. Maybe she'll grab a mic. But, going back to that,
it's a whole thing. Be careful what you wish for, dude. I mean, if that was the case, it wouldn't be the same.
No.
It would burn out quickly. You'd have a bunch of, people watering it down and whatnot. I mean, the fact that it is something you have to essentially be in the know about and know where to look for, and you actually have to search it out or have a network of people that can keep you up to date, up to speed on these things. That's what keeps it cool. If it was just readily available for everybody and it was the in thing, it would eventually just become lame, like every other kind of music that happens to.
Yeah, like every kind of movement, like the grunge movement. They got so fucking big and watered down.
Yeah, you had like the big four. You had Soundgarden, Chains, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and then you had the second wavers like Stone Temple Pilots and Candlebox, and then you had
third waivers
like Seven Mary 3.
And that's that's how it always goes.
And just a slew of bands that I probably don't even remember that had like a hit, like Space Hog or whatever.
Yeah.
That just like totally watered it down. It became indistinguishable. And then it eventually went to like, the whole MMS rock format, which is, Nickelback, Shinedown, and a bunch of bands that ended up sounding like that. And I don't even know what plays on MMS because I haven't listened to that for years, to be quite honest.
Radio's dead.
I mean, I have tuned by there. And I mean, it all sounds, every time I'm on there, the singer sounds like the same guy singing every time. And the music is just it's boring to me.
Yeah, it's a formula. Even the sounds of the recordings are all exactly the same. But nobody knows who any of those people are in those bands. I mean, the biggest band on MMS, whoever that fucking is, we'll say like Breaking Benjamin or whoever. I don't even know one of their songs.
Yeah, I mean, we're showing how out of touch we are with naming those bands because those are like yesterday's fucking.
They probably are, dude.
We don't even know.
Yeah.
But I mean, anytime I have been on there, it's always like the same song playing, man. Probably not literally the same song, but you know what I'm saying.
The same 10, for sure. That is literal.
And, anywhere else on the radio where there's rock, this is how unoriginal and unnew the mainstream rock scene is. They're still playing, like, The Real Thing by Faith No More.
Yeah.
Daily. I'm like, well, yeah, that was a really cool song when it came out, and it's obviously a mega hit, but Jesus, 20 years later.
It's classic rock now.
20 years later, but you're still playing it all the time, and the same Zeppelin and Aerosmith and Rush songs that if you were listening to the radio 20 fucking years ago, you're going to hear those same. It's amazing to me how the format is completely unchanged. It's completely unchanged on like radios that play like the classic, quote, unquote, classic rock deal. It's weird to me how it can just never, and apparently there's enough of an audience to keep that going, to keep advertisers buying that space, for them to feel secure and never, ever, ever, ever changing that format.
Yeah. You know what they should start doing?
Really weird.
They should start doing is putting a spotlight on the bands around those bands, all those classic bands that influence them. That's what I've been doing a lot personally, is like going back. We've heard all the classic rock, the classic hits, a billion times. So what I've been doing is going back and seeing who influenced them. I've been getting into some of those bands, and that's cool, and that's fun too. But it's like,
or even, album cuts by these bands. They play it like album cuts by Zeppelin, which I'm sure, about half of Zeppelin's catalog has been played on the radio. So there's not a lot that hasn't been played on the radio. But like bands like Rush, the other ones I named, there's so many album cuts that you could play on the radio. These are classic big heavyweights. Play some of their other music, man.
Yeah.
It's it's when the levee breaks.
Whole Lot of Love.
Fly By Night. And Sweet Emotion.
Yeah.
And The Real Thing by Faith No More.
Play Last Child by Aerosmith. That song is superior to Sweet Emotion.
Well, Last Child I've heard a bunch. When I worked
Get Your Wings, dude. Nobody plays any tracks off that.
When I worked in the speaker box factory, I did hear Last Child quite a bit.
Love that jam.
when I was cutting wood. That was one of the ones.
On the radio?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, on 98.5, man.
I don't think I've ever heard that shit.
Last Child and Sweet Emotion and, oh, God. Sometimes you'd hear Big 10-inch record.
Yeah. They need to go back to that. But, like getting back to my point about the whole rock and roll's dead thing, it's not. But, back to my rant, I was like, well, as far as independent bands go, and it's good to hear that Foul Spirits is like actually engaging, and actually wanting to get product.
Yeah, we
out
got
there.
to. It takes
everybody
it takes
does.
so much. If we were just a cover band, or if
You guys put
the
so much
music
effort into
was
it.
yes, that's the thing. There's so much effort that goes into writing the damn songs,
Recording.
and we don't make it easy on ourselves. So the fact that we were just doing this, I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, and I began to wonder what the purpose was of just hanging out with these dudes in my basement once a week
And lifting
making
heavy
this
shit.
complex song to record it, give it away on the internet, and go play shows that, essentially most of the people we play in front of, no matter how cool they think we are going to forget in 2 weeks because they took nothing away from it to remember us by.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, you have to do that. I mean, that's what annoys me the most. It's like the whole conversation is, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because, we keep seeing these articles on rock is dead. It's dead because musicians are fucking terrible at promoting themselves. They think it's like some kind of evil shit, it's like they're above it or something. It's like, no, nobody else is going to do it unless you do it.
Well, I think a lot of it is, too, I mean, it's the double-edged sword of the Internet. The Internet has essentially created a situation where the good bands are literally 1 part per million, 1 part per billion, swimming in a sea of horrible shit.
Yes.
And all this horrible shit, as well as the good shit, is free. So getting people that are like swimming in the stream to stop and check out your shit and put any thought or give any put any energy into actually checking it out it becomes harder because there's so much free shit that people are inundated with. It's information overload.
Yeah.
And
too much data.
It's become become devalued. It's devalued the whole experience.
But what I think you got to do is cultivate your squad. If you got 20 people who really give a fuck, then engage with them online. Ask them, like, please share this. We've done it, and we did it on our last release. I mean, we would all the posts. We'd be like, please share and retweet, dude. 50 people shared it, and we get like 15,000 people see the post, and then that starts to pick up steam. That's when people actually go to the iTunes and go to the CD Baby and buy at least a song, or the record. I mean,
but but what I'm saying though is there's so many of those posts that people see, and so I mean, by the time if they see your post at the beginning of their, trolling session or whatever you want to call it, if they see it at the beginning, by the time they get to the end, it's out of sight, out of mind, and because it was another thing that they saw. There's information overload that is going on with the whole social media thing nowadays, man. It's insane. I mean, I don't participate at all. And just a disclaimer, I'm not claiming that my band or any of them is one of the 1 part per billionth, the good shit in the sea of horrible shit. I'm just saying there's good shit out there still, but there's so much just awful shit that people can record in their basement themselves and put out there. It's any man's voice can be heard, and that's good. That's good. Open forum is good, and you have a right. If you have the ability to be heard, you have a right to be heard. Or to put your shit out there, you don't have a right to be listened to. But
well, to a point, maybe it is good that a lot of musicians in quotes, the swill, the shit, all the shit out there. Also, if they're horrible at making music, they are horrible at promoting themselves, and maybe that's good. So I guess the point is
What I find, though,
to get
is
the good guys, get the good guys to
It
get on
seems
the
like
promotion train.
a lot of the ones that are really good at promoting themselves are really horrible at actually playing music.
That happens too. that is what pisses me off.
You know,
It's like the good guys don't do it,
unbelievably.
but the bad guys do.
What you got there? Some Chardonnay? Pinot Grigio. I love Pinot Grigio. Delicious.
It is good. It's
I'm more of a Merlot guy myself, but Pinot Grigio is
Jeff
tasty.
Fahl's a Merlot guy.
I love dry red. It's weird, but like with most things, I hated wine when I first had it because it tasted like rotten fruit, and now my favorite wine that I have tastes the most like rotten fruit. It's weird.
Does it taste like rotten fruit? I never equate.
Yeah, it tastes like fermented rotten fruit juice.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, I know, but I hated it the first time I had it. And then I started drinking sweeter stuff, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But now I've come back to I totally enjoy the dry, bitey, fermented tasting stuff.
Wine's the thing,
Way
man.
more.
Wine's way big.
Oh, red wine buzz is like no other.
Yeah, red
No
wine
other.
hangover is also like no other.
Yeah, there's that. There's the downside.
I love it.
Drink water.
It's good. Yeah, I drink both at the same time now because I'm an old fuck. I drink water and wine.
I'm
and
bad at that. I'm like, if I'm going to drink something, why wouldn't I just drink more wine?
That's what I did all last weekend when we were in Maryland, man. It was beer and water, beer and water, beer and water.
I was beer and whiskey or beer and tequila.
A lot of
depending on
whiskey
which
flowing.
day.
A lot of whiskey flowing. Stones of
Yeah.
whiskey.
I looked
smell.
forward to that. I went out there to drink whiskey with Stone. I know he prides himself on his whiskey collection, and he likes to drink whiskey, so that's what I went out there for. I was not disappointed. And I don't think Stone was disappointed either.
No, he wasn't.
It's good times.
Yes, it was. It always is good. And the song that we finished was fucking next level. I'm going to have to actually work on that on myself because it's actually way different than anything we've ever done before.
Yes, it's
Thank
very heavy. It's a very heavy song.
Nuanced, very nuanced.
I was hoping that we'd go way mellower and quit this heavy metal nonsense.
We still can. We can do whatever
But
we want.
obviously, Stone and Chris aren't inclined to just quit playing metal and Burn Blue Sky.
Well, we have four.
So I'll put up with it, whatever.
We have four fairly heavy three fairly heavy songs, but then we got one. It starts out pretty. I call it pretty song.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
it's still. I'm talking like I want to do more Black Paul, May song type songs,
Well,
man.
I was just thinking, and I know
Put
Stone,
you on some tambourine shit, man. You ain't got to hit shit with sticks. Just play some tambourine.
Stone listens to this, so we're gonna put you on fucking
Some maracas.
on blast. The next couple probably have to be a little more mellow, dude. Or Chris. Does Chris write mellow shit? I don't think he does.
Nah, Chris hates playing clean guitar. He doesn't have a channel for it, and he just hates writing clean guitar. He loathes the whole thing. So, as far as my vision, as far as that goes, I don't know what I was thinking as far as getting, him involved.
He'll come along. If
Yeah.
Stone has a part, he'll.
I figured we'd break him down, but, as with anything else in Burn Blue Sky, that's probably going to take a long time.
Yeah, it'll happen. Well, Stone will write something, and he's just gonna have to come along. I do. Shit. I might have to do some tambourine.
By the way, I had mentioned Blackout Cookout, and it's eating away at me. For anybody who listens who doesn't know what Blackout Cookout is, it's an awesome multi-band show experience. It's
Annual.
happening this year. Yeah, it's annual. This is like number 8, I think. It's at the Outpost in Kent, Ohio. Actually, I think it's Brimfield or Kent. It's between Brimfield and Kent.
We'll just call it Kent.
It's September 16th this year, and it's one charge, and you get all you can eat, awesome barbecue, and there's probably going to be, between 10 and 15 bands, I think, usually. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm overshooting. It's 2-stage affair, and the bands are always really killer also. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I mentioned it earlier, but I don't. I said Blackout Cookout like it's something that everybody knows about, but the fact is, there's probably a lot of people that still don't know, which is a damn shame because a lot of effort goes into it, and it's amazing every time. Always a good time.
We can get tri-state people to come to this thing. I mean, just come for the camaraderie of it all. It's
Yeah, it's
fucking
bands from all over
fantastic.
the place too.
Yeah,
I have
and
no idea who's
nationals.
headlining this year. I haven't seen. Nothing's been released on that. I've been
will be
looking
coming.
forward to seeing.
We'll definitely say something about that.
Yeah.
Also, Burn Blue Sky is playing with
Absolutely. I Hate God.
Shit.
And Cro-Mags
Shit.
at the Outpost
Fistula.
also on August 31st. So
That's-
that's going to be killer. I Hate God's first time in Kent, Ohio, which is completely awesome.
Didn't they play Mantis back in the day? 100 years ago?
Did I Hate God ever play at the Manus? I have no idea.
I want to say yes.
No
but I
idea.
could be wrong.
That's very. I mean, I could imagine them doing that because I mean that place was a dirty punk rock hole.
It wasn't a venue. It wasn't barely a house.
No,
was
just a punk rock
structure.
hole.
It was like a shack.
It was like a squatter place.
They had power.
Squatters hung out there and sold paintings, I
Yes.
think, and shot up heroin
Did that building?
when like heroin wasn't trendy.
They tear that down or what?
You're shaking your head. Is that bad to say? Is that not PC?
It is trendy. It's trendy.
It is very trendy. And actually, that's not even the trendy thing anymore. Don't give heroin the credit. It's this fentanyl. Yeah.
Yes.
It's homemade fentanyl, in fact.
Great. Just stop it.
Don't buy that establishment shit. Get you some killer shit.
Stop doing the fentanyl. Just do. It's pretty sad when Coke is safer than heroin. Now, Coke used to be pretty fucking dangerous. A lot of people were getting the pure shit and fucking having heart
Dude,
attacks.
I don't even want to get into that. I was listening
Yeah,
to some
it's endless,
jerkbag
dude.
the other day
endless.
on some radio program, talk radio, talking about, I forget what even the gist of the conversation was. Something about, making pain the fifth vital sign, and that's why doctors are overprescribing and blah, 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 blah. And it occurred to me, just occurred to me out of the blue, some heinous shit. I'm always thinking of worst case heinous shit. And, it's the only thing that makes sense in some of these scenarios. Like, how long has the United States government been conducting a war on drugs? A
50
war on fucking drugs.
50
And the problem
50
is
years
the
almost.
worst. The problem with people dying of overdoses is the worst it's ever been
Yeah.
in my entire life.
Fail.
So what war?
The war on people. That's what it is.
And not that I think it's on the government, or it should be on the government to solve such a problem. It's on people. It's on
yes.
the people. But you delegate these kinds of taking care of these kinds of problems
Just
to
gets
people who
worse.
get paid to take care of problems. What happens when there's no more problems?
They make problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they make the problems up.
It's a cottage industry.
Well, everything they touch just sucks. I mean,
But I've said, I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to get into that. I've said too much already. That's for another podcast, I think.
Yeah,
And I want to get more voices in on that. I want to get like P in on that one.
Yeah. Get some Paul in there.
I remember listening to your guys' discussion about the Trump election and stuff, and I was like, I wish I was at that one.
That could be endless because it's constant outrage. Like people's adrenal glands are fucking freaking out.
Which is complete nonsense again. Because would you feel safe if the other person had won? Because to me, that's completely ridiculous.
I was just listening to Sam Harris and the guy who started the Dilbert comic, Scott Adams. They had a chat, and very interesting. There's very interesting and fucking intelligent people actually tearing this kind of stuff down, and people should check that stuff out. Check out Scott Adams on Periscope. If you want to be more objective about this kind of stuff. I know everybody's kind of been talking more about politics than I can ever remember. I mean, I remember when you were talking about if you talked about politics at all, people equated you to a conspiracy theorist if you didn't agree with, the status quo of what was going on.
Well, I never understand people that are afraid or like avoid talking politics with their friends or what they. I never think of it as talking politics, for one. I don't talk about politicians.
It's just bullshit.
I talk about people. To me, it's talking about
the world.
Philosophy,
Yes.
ideals more than anything. And
Fundamentals.
if people don't have those discussions, how does the spread of ideas occur? Is that something that's just supposed to be left to social media where everybody can be a tough guy at their computer and shout other people down through their mighty keyboard?
I stopped doing that.
Because nobody can,
I was a keyboard warrior
keep
for
calm
many
in
years.
person.
I just can't do it anymore.
I mean, to me, I love those conversations because every time I have them, I learn more about myself, and your point of view evolves in some way, man.
It should.
Your mind expands because nobody has, best way I've ever heard it put. I had a lady client, and
You did?
I usually only see her. I usually only see her one certain time of year because she lives in Italy, and she comes and sees me once a year.
Now you have
to
tell
do
me-
paperwork.
they've-
But she was here at a different time of year this year because, and I came to find out when she came in to see me, her father had died unexpectedly.
Inheritance.
And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, and she's pretty cool. I'm like, so do you want to vent about it? No. So we're sitting there, and I'm starting to do the drab paperwork business that we're there for. And she, I see it, and she's starting to, she's sitting there thinking about it, starting to tear up. So I'm like, I'm going to ask, you ever think about moving back here permanently? And she's like, no. I'm like, not even with Trump in office? Because I know she's anti, and I know just by knowing her for the years that I've known her and talked to her, I know she's anti-Trump. So we had a big debate, and at one point it was finally, just print out my paperwork. Can we just finish up here?
Yeah.
But she said something I will never forget, and I will probably use a million times for the rest of my life in these conversations. Nobody has a monopoly on the truth. Nobody has a monopoly on the truth.
It's fact. Well, especially nobody in the...
That's huge, and that's exactly why people should have these conversations, because that's the only way you get around to figuring anything out is when you group forum and not sitting at your computer where you can be all pig-headed and just
bang on the keyboard.
Attempt to shut people down, and if you can't shut people down, you just shut it down and walk away.
Since I've stopped talking about this stuff online, people have tagged me in their conversations because they're just ramping up their fucking keyboard warrior fucking mentality. And I'm like, and so I'll get on there, and if there's anything of substance, but I'll look, and I'll be like, oh, first 2 comments, you guys are calling each other names. Conversation's over. I'm out. And that's what I say. I was like, conversation's over because it's not a conversation we start calling each other names. Okay. So,
But it was totally awesome because I diverted this chick from crying. She was about to start weeping and stuff because all this sadness going on. I totally threw that down and took her mind off of it for 30 minutes or whatever that we were there together.
Yeah, right.
And I got that awesome, that tremendous wording, which is, the way I felt for a while, but I never worded it that well.
Right.
And she said that, and that, that stuck with me.
Yeah, essentially nobody knows everything about everything. And when you're talking about very complex conversations, very complex nuanced conversations, which all of these are, but they're never treated that way because it's always a red and blue or a black and white kind of thing when there's a lot of gray area in which you have to cover. So, and nobody, I can't say nobody. It's starting to happen now. I think people are starting to get that nuance and actually want to talk to people about this stuff, but
I think there's people that
not
are,
online.
but I think there's still an overwhelming amount of people that just that are sheep, absolute sheep.
Never gonna change.
The law, there's no real morality because there's no need for morality because we have the law. What's legal is right. What's illegal is wrong. End of story.
That's the nuance.
End of story.
That's the nuance.
And when it's say for
necessarily.
instance, when you're talking about something like decriminalization of a substance or whatever, automatically these are the kinds of people who, well then everybody would just be doing that all the time and everything would be a wreck. Like say you stopped chasing drunk drivers. Not that I'm saying you should, but it's a money game.
I've
It's a
argued
money
that
grab.
point.
But it's a setup. But say you stop doing that. Their mentality is, well, automatically everybody would be driving around hammered.
Well, you need
Because why would anybody exercise common sense and not get hammered and drive a vehicle?
I've argued to that point. I was like, we should legalize drunk driving,
Not
And-
legalize, decriminalize.
Okay, even that would work because I told him, I was like, what we should do is enforce natural law, and which is the derivative of all law in Western society. Decriminalize it. If somebody kills somebody on the road, then they get arrested for murder and go to jail forever. That does not happen.
That's my point, man.
Yeah.
The whole drunk driving thing now that we have now that's in place.
They get out in 4
is
years.
completely
you know?
set up around revenue collection.
Yes,
it's
it's
set up to have it happen and collect revenue off of it. It's not set up to prevent, other than the fear of the financial hassle that it would be to get caught. There's no real. It's a shortcut to thinking. It's an opting out of responsibility. It's the replacement of morals with the law of man.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, there's so many people that just on something like that, it's black and white. It's black and white, which it can't be that way. Life is more gray area.
Do you know how
black and white?
Do you know how to get somebody to look at you like you're a complete fucking crazy person? Is you tell them decriminalize.
Yes, I
drunk
do, because
driving.
I've gotten that a zillion times. Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that, just to be clear, I'm not advocating that at all.
I'm not either, and I needed to do that too. I'm not advocating
But
that at
for
all. It's not a good
argument's
idea.
sake, when you say something like that, the incorrect, the sheepish response is, well, everybody would be getting hammered and driving around. That is nonsense.
Not really, because if you knew you were going to go to jail forever if you hurt somebody or took some or fucked up somebody's property and they took your property away, then you wouldn't. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or
I wouldn't.
maybe you just don't want to wreck your own car.
That could be too.
You know, because your car costs money.
And in that situation, and the cops would be there to pull people over and be like, "Oh, well, you're going to jail for the night. We're going to let you out the next day." And that's essentially kind of how it used to be.
Once again, not the time to figure out how to pull that off.
Yeah, right.
That's for another one.
We
The whole decriminalizing drunk driving one that, I'm sure just turns us into villains with so many people.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why, like I said, not condoning that at all.
Well, I had a conversation with a lady that's in AA.
People that stop listening because we said that aren't going to hear that we're not condoning that, by the way. That might have been a misstep.
Well, we'll say it again. We're not condoning drunk driving or killing anybody by drunk driving. We're actually not condoning that. We're actually, saying that people who harm others, should pay a price. And they're not doing that now. I had a buddy that I worked with 15 years ago, and his sister was killed by a drunk driver. She was driving back from Columbus, Ohio. She was going to Ohio State, and a drunk driver got on the expressway. This is at night. Got on the expressway going the opposite direction, the wrong way, with his headlights
That's a
off.
classic move.
And he was going 90 miles an hour. She never saw him coming. He hit her head on, killed her instantly. He said there was nothing left of her. Nothing.
So he went up for
he's
involuntary vehicular manslaughter.
Something to that effect. He's not in jail anymore. I don't know how many years he served. It was a fucking obscene low amount of years. I think it was like 4 or 6 years. I don't know.
I mean,
But
the bottom
out.
line with
He's
that
out.
is the education's out there. I mean, everybody knows what alcohol does to you. You're educated about that as a child, and once you have your first few drinks, usually as a child still, you become aware that's true. That does happen. It makes you incapable of acting normally, just on a physical level. And the bottom line is, so if you're going to take your life as well as everybody else around you and your vicinity's life into your own hands by being a completely reckless individual, then you should be prepared also to pay the consequences.
That's right. Self-responsibility.
The same as somebody who would just take a gun and shoot somebody.
Same thing.
For some reason.
Same fucking thing. It should be treated the same.
I mean, that may not be your intent, but lack of intent does not change the fact that you did what you did and it caused what it caused.
Right. See, that's the universal. It's applying the law universally. It's applying morality universally. I can't believe we're doing this. We got into this conversation, and it's a good one. We went from talking about bands to talking about drunk driving, and personal fucking responsibility.
It's another one though that we need like a panel of people. You got another microphone for Kelly?
Yeah, you
want to
jump
quiet.
on this?
I'm sure she's got something to say.
I can put the directionals on. We can really go to town.
But it's something that you need like several. We need to have like a several viewpoint kind of thing on, because that's how you really articulate this down to the last piece. Because there's just things we're missing, and I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, of
that
course.
That we should not try to control that, but I don't think creating a shortcut to thinking, such as preventative measures with the blood alcohol content and all that nonsense, and charging people for their classes they got to go to, and taking their license,
that's all about
charging
money.
them to get their license back, and all that stuff.
You know what's taking care of drunk driving? Is Uber and Lyft. That's probably making more of an impact on drunk driving than all of these classes and all these fines.
And you're not making people
time.
better people by just doing their thinking for them. You need to leave the decision making up to people. That to me, that's one of the biggest problems with American law, is the decision for so many things in your life increasingly is being taken out of your hands. We've already figured that out for you. Just do what we're saying. Do what we say. Do what we've legislated is the right thing to do, and you'll be just fine.
A good way to wrap this part of the conversation up is do what you want. Just don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt any property.
Absolutely.
And you look around, there's no cops. You want to do it? Fucking do it. Who gives a shit?
Rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but no right to infringe on another's rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Don't get in anybody else's
It's complex.
Way. It is, dude. I mean,
but
we can't figure it out.
What a world that would be.
Yeah, it'd be a freer world, right?
Well,
what are you gonna say?
I was just going to say that coming off of a really shitty day at work, I think personal responsibility comes into the way that you treat others and businesses. And
That's
I've talked
right.
about this too, that things need to change from a customer first mentality to a customer is in equal parts the same as the employee they're dealing with. So if you show disrespect, you're asked to fucking leave.
That's right. That's how it should
and
be.
And businesses need to get in line with that. And that's all I have to say.
Who do you work for?
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. It's a culture of entitlement. I mean, when you don't go into a business, don't be an asshole. That's basically it. Just don't go out into the world. Don't leave your doorstep and go out and shit on people.
But at the same time,
unless they deserve it,
as a business,
then give it to them.
a business, if you want to make money, these are the things you must put up with. You have to approach.
Level.
This will never change. Ever change. This has been the model of selling goods and services since the dawn of time. You must take the customer's always right tact. You must always look here before you look there. Sometimes the customer is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, probably half the time.
Well, wrong.
But you can never display that kind of mentality, because then are you attacking the customer? Are you providing a good service, a good product? You always want to look at yourself first, because that's just the way business works. You're asking them to pay you. They're not asking you to take their money. You're asking them to pay you for something. So, I mean, there's that side of it too. I mean, I've thought that at work several times. I deal with, that kind of thing in my business too. And we have people where I work that I've seen them take that tact. 'Cause somebody has a problem, automatically it's, well, they're crazy. Well, did you look at yourself first?
Well,
what did I do?
That has merit.
What did I do wrong?
Sure.
And if you can't find anything that you did wrong, well, then you try to gently present that idea to the customer. But
she's coming from a perspective of somebody coming in being belligerent right off the bat, entitled to service at this very second. Even
well,
if
there's
people
definitely
in front
no
of them.
excuse for going into somewhere and immediately treating people like shit. Because if you think you're going to get good service when you treat people like shit right off the bat, you must be insane.
You should at that point.
No.
It should be like,
it's a respect issue.
Okay, we have rules here, and the rules are blank. And if you don't follow these rules, then you can leave. I don't care. Yeah, that's how it should be. Maybe it'll get that way someday. Who knows?
It's an absolute respect issue.
Before we close this out, I have to ask because I've heard the record. Man, we were listening to it in Maryland last week. And the thing
New hate theory coming soon.
Smokes.
It's probably, I think it's being mastered now. Stone said he was sending it out Monday for mastering, and so however long that takes to get that done, and then discs pressed, and we've got a show in the works in the fall. There'll be details on that coming out. I don't want to give the date out at this point.
It will be in Ohio, of course.
But we are talking about possibly a DT on that one too. So that'll be fun.
That being Dolly fucking Drama.
Yeah, I was gonna let those who could figure that out do that.
Well, dude, it's been so long.
Fully name dropping, because that's not even a guaranteed thing. That's just we've mentioned and we've talked with guys from DT about such a thing. But it's making that whole thing happen. We definitely haven't worked that out with the whole party involved. But that would be killer.
Well, hey, I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm talking specifically to the guys in Dolly Trauma. Jeff and Josh and Brad. Hey, and Ted too. If you guys don't play it,
I've heard that Ted's living on the side of a mountain.
If you guys don't play
Ted's gone.
If you guys don't play this Hate Theory show, we're gonna start a band called Dolly Trauma, and play it for you.
That's
and
what.
It won't be your songs. We're just gonna make some shit up as we go.
I believe it was Jeff that told me that Ted's not part of the equation at all. They would have to have a bass player.
Oh, cool. Well, that'll work. We'll find somebody to make that happen.
But
sounds awesome, though, dude. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I can't wait till it's out because it's really good.
Yeah, that's another very exciting thing. Times are very exciting for me right now.
Creatively,
and the things that, the creative endeavors that I've been involved in there's a lot of fruit. There's a lot coming to fruition rather. At this time, this fall should be very fun time.
I'm down.
Starting with August 31st at the fucking Outpost.
Burn Blue Sky.
With I Hate God, the Cro-Mags, Fistula, and Goost also on that fucking show.
It's gonna be
should
great.
be a rager.
I'm fucking pumped. I'm pumped that
you're into any of that. If you don't come out, you must be silly.
And our bros in Fistula, we've been hanging out with those guys forever. Goost for quite a while.
Absolutely, man.
It's cool to have
all good, fun people.
Yeah, they're our homies.
I Hate God is amazing.
Yes, they are.
Just, so influential to me over the years. And, the last 2 times I've seen them, it's been an absolute blast. So I'm looking forward to seeing them, 5 minutes down the street from my house at the Outpost. That's awesome.
Rad.
Good for Joe. You folks that, haven't come down to the Outpost when he's had, things like of this nature there before because you wait for the Cleveland date to go on. Get your asses on down there to this one. Outpost is killer sound. I Hate God's going to fucking rage at that place. And I don't know much about the Cro-Mags, but all the fucking respect in the world. I know who they are and how long they've been around. And,
make it an event.
Gonna be fucking killer too.
Everybody needs to come out because make it an event. There's hotels right down the road. Just fucking Uber right down to the hotel. Fucking, hang out all night.
Or get your designated driver or your fucking Uber on, man. Whatever you got to do.
Don't drive drunk, dude.
But it's definitely going to be a killer motherfucking show.
I'm so pumped. I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time. Maybe we'll get Jimmy Bauer to do this podcast with us. Or Mike Williams, if he's up to it. I know the guy had a liver transplant. So
I guess he's pumped about the tour is what my friend was telling me he read or whatever. That
he should be,
Mike
man.
Williams is saying how pumped he is and he just wants to get back out there and talk to the fans and stuff, man. He's happy to be able to get back out there as he should be because after what he went through,
He's
how
lucky.
many people go through that kind of shit and get back out there? But we are talking about I Hate God. There was a time, 10, 15 years ago when I wondered how they could possibly get away with what they were doing.
I know.
But it does take its toll.
Yes, it does.
So he's seen some of that.
Everything in moderation. All right, that's cool. I think we're good, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's wrap it up. All right, later. All right, there it is. Me and Jeff Fahl shooting the shit. We had a guest speaker with my lady Kelly. She stopped in, threw a few cents in of her own, which was nice. It's always good to have some additional voices on this little podcast we got going on. Seeing how we had Jeff on the podcast, I think we're going to play the title track from the latest Burn Blue Sky record today. I'm not sure I've ever played this song on the podcast before, so we're going to do it. It's quintessential Jeff Fahl singing this shit. And that's what will close us out today. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back real soon with another episode of the Rock Savages podcast. Oh, and by the way, you can get Gods of Moth on iTunes, so if you guys don't have it yet and you dig the song, go buy that thing, man. And, you know, if you don't want to buy it, just give us a rating and review on iTunes. Give your favorite bands rating and reviews on iTunes. It helps get those guys up the charts, no matter who it is. If you like it, you know, you don't have to write a book or anything. Just write a sentence or 4 words or whatever and give them a 5-star review, man. Easy, free way to support independent artists. It's important, it works, and it helps. That said, thank you very much again, and we'll be back real soon. Cheers.
Ooh.